Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Rick. The video today from China Unvarnished. Older single women in China are beginning to regret. They're actually desperate enough to get married now. Please subscribe them below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that chow. It's chow time.
其实你们不用在评论区总说我
Actually, you don't need to always criticize me on the internet. I know that at my age of 42, there really isn't much market for me anymore. If I wanted to get married when I was younger, there might have been a bride price, but now at my age, not to mention the bride price, I might have to be a stepmother when I enter the door. Times have really changed. Maybe I used to fantasize about meeting someone better, but now I find that whoever is introduced to me is either divorced with kids or a bald old man. So, sisters, let me tell you, if you really want to get married, you should do it early.
今年我37
I think some American women need to watch this particular episode, right?
岁了，依旧单身。
I'm 37 years old this year, still single, living in a small county like Tangshan. I have an 80 square meter apartment where I live alone. Many people might think I have a great life, but it's not really like that. Whether you're unmarried, married...
80 square meters? Oh, that's actually decent size. I'm thinking like square footage of a regular house, how we see it here. I'm like, wait, fuck.
or preparing for divorce, my words might be helpful to you. Do you think being single without the constraints of marriage is joyful?
A lot of women in the West do. A lot of women think that marriage is slavery. They think the freedom to be able to work your ass off every single day to pay your bills for the rest of your life is freedom.
In your 20s, being single might seem fine, but after 35, I live every day in anxiety, deeply uneasy inside. Do you think having money can solve everything?
Like, do you guys think that women in the West have this exact same type of anxiety? I actually think they do. This is why they're so miserable. They have this internal clock that's yelling at them that they cannot get kids. They're not going to be able to do things soon. But they still believe in that feminism bullcrap. And they still, their ideals and beliefs do not match the biology and the reality, and they can't handle it.
Actually, it has no direct correlation with your happiness. Many people think that having good conditions will ensure happiness, but that's wrong. Every American thinks you need to have a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom house before you have kids. You have to have all these things in place before you have kids. No, you don't. day, when I go out or come home, I'm alone. When facing problems, I have no one to discuss with or rely on. In these moments, you can only work desperately, keeping yourself busy to fill the inner helplessness and emptiness.
Damn.
Waking up alone, shopping alone, eating alone. Coming back home at night, seeing all the lights on but none for you. People often say that marriage is the grave of love, but I want to tell you, not getting married means you're a wandering ghost. A passionate love affair is just poetry and distant horizons, while real life is about the mundane things. You might envy the freedom of being single, but true happiness is a simple life with family, being healthy and peaceful together. Everyone has trivial things in their life, every family has its own issues. A woman at the age to marry and have children, if she doesn't, won't she feel regret? Can a woman truly be happy just thinking about making money all the time?
This is what we ask women in the West. Is it truly freedom?
Actually, there isn't much happiness in it. A woman working desperately often lacks support behind her. Some might say, if life is unbearable, it's better to divorce. But have you considered what happens to the children? Will finding another person truly improve your life? After divorce, can you surely find a better man? Many people realize after remarrying that life isn't better than before. Remarried couples each have their own agendas, making it hard to live together harmoniously, often calculating against each other. Some might say I have no right to speak since I'm
that looks good.
Not married, but precisely because I'm not married, I have more authority to say this. I've seen too many people at this age who regret not marrying or having children, and too many quarreling remarried families. So, don't listen to those poisonous chicken soup talks. Don't keep comparing yourself to others. Cherish the person in front of you. Maybe
Damn, girl. Fuck, we need to get women to watch this fucking video.
he isn't perfect and has many flaws, but everyone is imperfect. Change your mindset, view the people around you from a different angle, and you might feel differently.
Damn right.
What do you think?
家人们，我也没想到今天能到30多还没有结婚。
Dear friends, I never thought I would still be unmarried at 35. Now my parents tell me every day to go on blind dates and get married as soon as possible. Honestly, who doesn't want to start a family at this age, and who wants to make their parents worry? My parents tell me every day that they can't sleep at night because of their worries. As their child, I feel really ashamed and distressed. Marriage, to be honest, is something that you can only come across by chance, not something you can achieve just because you want to.
What? You can achieve anything if you want to, but you have to work at it and strive for it. Yes, I agree that it doesn't just happen by chance. Or I disagree that it doesn't just happen by chance. You have to put in work.
I planned to work while looking for a partner, but now my parents don't let me go out. They want me to stay home, do farm work, and look for a partner. But staying at home, many young men have gone to work in the cities. Where can I find a partner? Friends, what do you think? At my age, 35, I am indeed considered an older single woman in the countryside. I'm the only one in the entire village who is still not married.
Damn.
My mother says every day that she feels embarrassed and humiliated whenever this topic comes up in the village. Honestly, I really want to start a family.
And this is the community at work right here, right? You see how the Asian community, or at least the Chinese community, really push for marriage, really push for the community to be whole in a sense. And when someone doesn't, the shame factor is very, very high. It is so high that her mother and father feel the pressure and she feels the pressure.
If I find a suitable man, I must get married this year. I don't want to make my family worry anymore. If this drags on, I might become depressed. Who would have thought I would still be single until now?
我快35了。
I am almost 35 years old and still not married. My classmates' children are already in high school. Sometimes
This, I feel that. A lot of my high school classmates actually have kids that are like 16, 18 now, and I'm just looking back like, damn, I could have had a kid that's full grown by now.
I think, if I had gotten married earlier, I would have a husband and children now. Wouldn't that be nice? Even if I got divorced, at least I would have a child, right? But now, I have nothing, just a bachelor, just me. Sigh, it's really distressing to think about it.
不结婚不生孩子，一个人过度终老。
Not getting married or having children, live
But it's funny, I got all these Chinese girls, even though they're older, they still wear like the kiddiest pajamas. They still wear like the kiddiest clothing and stuff.
living alone and growing old in solitude. Who
Okay,
will
she looks
inherit
young.
my property and house in the future? I'm almost 33 years old, unmarried and childless, living alone in Shanxi,
Dude, 33, if she was here in the US, she would get married immediately. At this, how she looks at 33.
Taiwan. Although I'm not anti-marriage, I can't guarantee that I will definitely get married in the future. I have a car and a small house in my hometown. Some people say that working hard alone is meaningless and that no one will inherit it when I'm old.
That is the exact sentiment that my family tells me. Why the fuck are you working so hard? You don't even have kids yet. You don't even have family. What are you going to do all this money and all this fame or wealth or whatever when you don't even have a family? Go get a fucking family.
However, to be honest, I'm not worried about this at all. When I casually throw away trash, I also buy some groceries. On weekends, I have more free time and make myself some braised
Jeez. Her smile is very cute.
noodles, which I haven't made in a long time. I think working hard is to make my life and my family's life better, not relying on others, living the life I want, and being my own support. Whether one is alone or in a relationship, one should live well and treat oneself kindly. Today,
Damn.
I made braised noodles with long beans for the first time. I don't know how it will taste. I'm also
Looks good.
preparing to make a cold dish because even when eating alone, one shouldn't compromise. I've been very busy
agree
lately and
with
haven't
that.
cooked much, but I still think that my own cooking is the most delicious. After
Narcissistic
eating, I
much?
will clean the room. I like to keep the room clean and tidy, with fewer things, so I don't feel cluttered, and my mood is better. Actually, I've already planned that if I'm still
She has my cologne. Why does she have the Chanel blue cologne? That's a male's cologne.
single at 50, I will live with single sisters. By then, I might have no relatives or attachments, so I'll choose a city I like, plant flowers, raise cats, drink tea, and live a
Raise
slow-paced
cats.
life.
She knows.
If I didn't think too much about the future now, I would really like to live this kind of reclusive life now. In fact, even when old, there are many things to do. These are matters for decades later. The most important thing now is to live well in the present. Organizing the room makes my mood better, and next, I plan to have a good rest. I can sleep a lot on weekends. Being alone now actually feels quite good.
I wish. Guys, for me, every day I'm up at 5. It doesn't matter if it's the weekends. Doesn't matter if I'm not doing videos that day or not. I still wake up at 5. I cannot sleep in. For the life of me, I try my best to sleep in, to get a little bit more sleep. Never fucking works. Never.
是大龄剩女，现实生活中其实挺悲哀的。
Actually, I'm not some high-quality older single woman. In reality, I feel quite sad. When I go on blind dates, the men I like and find attractive won't even glance at me.
Ouch.
The men who pursue me, on the other hand, are all undesirable and subpar, and I don't like them. So, I can only proudly pretend that I won't settle, adhering to the principle of better none than substandard. In fact, most older single
is
women are
Americans.
just like me, merely stubborn. We know that the value of marriage is almost non-existent, yet we still hope to change our fate through marriage. Now, I understand that it's my fault for being single until now.
Woo! She said it, guys. It's her fault. Some accountability. What? If only women in the West can realize some of these things.
There's no need for anyone to pity me. Those who deserve pity always have some detestable traits. I remember a relationship coach once said that age is the least of the problems for older single women. I admit that age is indeed my least problem.
是蛮着急的，但是呢，就是不想将就，因为
Actually, we single women over a certain age are very anxious, but we just don't want to settle for just anyone. Today, I was planning to actively go on a blind date. We agreed to meet at 5:30 p.m. At 4:50 p.m., I asked the guy if he had left, and he said he wouldn't be able to leave until around 5:50 p.m. So, I couldn't wait any longer. I said that I would get off work at 5 p.m. and was already done with my work. I suggested that we reschedule. He agreed and said he had something come up today. We single women over a certain age can be very proactive too. I actively arranged the meeting, but he was late. What was planned in advance had to be rescheduled. Sometimes, it's not that we are being aloof. We really aren't. We just want to meet someone, have a conversation, and see if there's a chance to find a partner. At our age, we really don't want to waste any more time.
I mean, an hour to wait if you really wanted to meet this person, if they were late for a legitimate reason, I don't see an issue with that, but...
I used to think about focusing on my career first before finding a partner. But at 35, you can't just work and not look for a partner. You have to do both. Now,
Why couldn't you do that when you were 20? You could have worked and still found a partner. You could have went to school and still found a partner in your 20s. This is the problem that women are like facing now. You could do all of these things at the same time. You might not be great at everything. You might not be great at school. You might not be earning, buco bucks or anything, but you'll at least be a mother or be a wife.
I find that these older single men are really not in a hurry either.
Nope.
I don't know why they aren't anxious. Even
Because
those
there's
who
no
are 4
time
years
fucking
older
frame
than me
for
aren't
us.
in a hurry. I really don't understand why.
我快35岁了，
I'm approaching 35 years old and I'm a single woman over a certain age. I no longer want a bride price. But currently, even if I provide my own house and car, it's still very hard to get married.
You see that, guys? So in China, once you're past 30, you can't even request the things that normal modern women request anymore. It's funny that standards go up here in the West. Oh, I need more things. I need more that I'm older now and ran through and not as attractive and probably a little overweight. Where these women are like, fuck, I'm old. I'm going to bring everything to the table. I got a house. I got these. I got all these things. And you still don't want me? Fuck, I don't know what to do.
This is because the men I meet through blind dates think I'm too old. So, there's nothing I can do. Finding a partner is really difficult. If it doesn't work out, I might just end up living alone.
由于我谈了一段5年的感情，导致在去年34岁的时候分手了。
I am 35 years old this year, unmarried.
All of these 35-year-old women look quite young, but I guess in the Chinese standards, they probably look like normal because I'm used to seeing Americans.
And childless. I ended a 5-year relationship last year when I was 34. I feel like I might never get married because, first, I cannot forget my ex. Second, if I
But you ended their relationship. That's what you said.
start seeing someone else, they might reject me, saying that I have a 5-year relationship in my past and have cohabited for a long time. These are the main reasons. Sometimes I think that at my age, I am considered a high-risk pregnant woman.
You are.
But being a high-risk pregnant woman means I might need to get married as soon as possible, in the shortest time possible.
True.
However, I cannot do it. I know many women also cannot do it. Right now, I just want to say to women, do not rush. If we really cannot get married, if we cannot have children, it's okay. I want to tell women who are older, unmarried, and
See, the thing is, yes, it's okay in a sense. You can do it. Is it going to be great for your health? Is it going to be great for your mental health? Is it going to be great for you overall in the long grand scheme of life? Probably not.
childless. Do not be anxious. I am anxious about earning money, but I am not very anxious about marriage. So, I also want to say that you shouldn't be anxious either. If worse comes to worst, after we get older, we can live together with other women who have good relationships with us. We can rent a place together and still be happy and joyful. There's no need to rush. We are already in our 30s, with 10 more years before retirement, right? Sometimes, if we cannot have children, we just won't have children. There are so many childless couples, we can consider ourselves as one of them. So, don't be anxious about marriage. The most important thing now is to maximize our value, which means earning money and improving ourselves. This should be the primary focus. But if a suitable and interesting person appears, we should still make a move and be proactive.
真的很后悔没有早点嫁人。
I really regret not getting married earlier. Others, when they were 18 or in their 20s, were already thinking about finding a good partner to marry,
Good.
while I didn't consider marriage at that time. Now I'm 37 years old, and I've become a leftover woman, where I have to be chosen by men. The outstanding
You always had to been chosen by men. Men have always had the choice to marry. You never had the option, but you had the best available men to want to marry you when you were in your 20s.
men have long been married. When I was 18 or in my 20s, like other girls, I was sunny, beautiful, and full of vitality, but now I really regret not finding a good man to marry back then. The current situation is really messy. I don't have a husband, children, or even savings.
Wow.
Some people my age already have children who are about to get married, while I still haven't found a partner. It's too late to regret now. Age is really a disadvantage for women.
It is.
When I was younger, I felt there were many opportunities and never considered the issue of age. However, now at this age, I truly understand that the number of people pursuing me has decreased, and I mainly rely on arranged matchmaking. But there are various issues with arranged matchmaking, and I also feel it's not suitable. I'm really distressed.
There are many older single women now, who are really slapped in the face by reality.
Yep.
Sometimes, I find them both pitiful and hateful. In many big cities in China, there will really be many, many girls who cannot get married. Don't refute me just yet. If an older single woman sees this, you might want to curse me, but there are really many cases to prove this. Older single women do have some commonalities. Basically, there are 3 points. First, they are too picky. Second, they are too independent. And third, they have low emotional intelligence. My friend has been working in the marriage industry for 10 years. For example, a few days ago, a 34-year-old single woman came to her. Actually, she looks okay, her appearance can score 7 out of 10, and she works within the system with a monthly salary of over 10,000 yuan. That day, she met a man born in 1982 at my friend's place. He is divorced but has a very high income, with a monthly salary of over 50,000 yuan.
So 5 times hers?
He is a very excellent man, After meeting him, she immediately gave feedback to my friend, saying that she didn't like him, feeling that there was no spark. Although he has money, he is too old, divorced, and short. Back in her 20s, she went on blind dates with rich kids and was basically never rejected. So, if she finds a man with such looks now, she feels very disadvantaged and thinks it's embarrassing to bring him out. She feels she has not fallen to the point of finding a divorced man, whose looks she doesn't like and who is much older. My friend told her, "Why don't you think about it? A man who is not that old, unmarried, with a monthly income of over 50,000 yuan, and can also make you feel very attracted, might not like you either." She thought for a moment and said, now that I am getting older year by year, it's indeed hard to find someone. Why don't I give it a try and date him for a while? But she didn't expect that she was too confident. The feedback from the man was that he didn't like her at all. The man told my friend that chatting with this woman was very uncomfortable. As soon as she sat down, she asked why he got divorced, how many girlfriends he had after the divorce, and why they broke up. Then, the second question was about how many houses he had, where they were located in Beijing, and how much he could save in a year. She even asked if he had plans to get married within 6 months. You said you didn't like him, so why ask so many questions? This is her problem with emotional intelligence. She didn't consider the other person's feelings at all, asking whatever she wanted. Isn't this like checking the household registration? The man felt like he was being interrogated. How awkward.
That's how a lot of us feel when we go on dates. It's literally an interview, an interrogation of every single thing about us that, they want to check off a list.
These questions are actually very private and shouldn't be asked at this time. This is a woman who is used to being alone, so her thinking doesn't consider others' feelings.
Yep.
This series of questions made the man really disgusted. How can he continue with you? These older single women have a common problem of being picky. They pick income, looks, education, and assets. After picking these, they also pick personality. Then, they finally find someone they are satisfied with, but the other person doesn't like them. Otherwise, it's too tiring to get along with them because they are used to being alone and are self-centered. Often, their emotional intelligence is relatively low, they can't talk or handle affairs well, and they still have a little girl's mentality with a princess syndrome.
Yep.
They expect
That's a good chunk of women in their 30s in the United States right there.
Men to pursue and pamper them, but they don't take the initiative and are very proud. So, they will fail everywhere.
Yep.
Do you think they can still get married in this situation?
Hell no. The men in China are a lot less simpy, it seems. At least the ones that make good money, that have options. They really vet these women and want good women. Where, at least in the United States, even rich men here still end up with 304s. Please extra them below. I really appreciate that. I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.